All right, Kev, thank you for joining me in this interview. Um, so thank you for that. Let's get right
Mm-hmm.
in. Let's get right into it. So basically, today I'm going to be talking to you about sort of anxiety and how it affects college students. But I'm going to ask you some typical questions and get some information from that. So
All
first,
right.
first question is, can you share a bit of like a bit of information on your college routine and things like classes and personal activities and personal commitments?
Sure. Yeah. So my typical college routine involves like first attending classes. I typically have them like later in the afternoons, and then after those classes, I typically like do extracurricular activities. One of the clubs I am currently in is like the it's with like we were involved in like planning out like pretty much Chinese awareness
Mm-hmm.
kind of at WashU. And then, I mean, in my personal time, I manage my studying, working like a part time.
Oh, where do you work part time, if you don't mind me asking?
I typically just, at the library, it just that typically gives you a lot of time to just do homework.
I see, I see. So that's a good job to have and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's good to know. What classes do you take? I know you had mentioned that.
So I'm planning on majoring in mathematics. So we were talking about like those calculus classes, those multi-variable calculus that I have taken, and it's kind of difficult, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you're mainly majoring in math and stuff, and you're planning on maybe changing it a little bit, tweaking it a little bit in the future and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm also thinking of possibly also majoring in computer science, which is another interest of mine.
Okay, so double major. Okay, that sounds
Mhm.
interesting. Okay. So, um when you've been at college so far, have you noticed any ways that it's affected your like mental health or well-being that could possibly lead to like anxiety for you? Has there been anything like that that's happened?
Yeah, so like college life, it has its ups and downs
Okay.
on like mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So like I mean, in terms of tests, when there's tests, there's always that stressful feeling, and you kind of want to bounce it out between like academics and social life and personal responsibilities. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And would you say like it can definitely cause anxiety, I guess, if you don't balance it out. So basically what you're saying is that having a balance of what you do at college can be really positive for just your everyday life.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like at WashU, we have like counselors for this sort of stuff, and it definitely helps.
Okay.
Like I have like went to them like at least twice, if not more, just to get this, just to feel better or talk to them, just have someone to talk to.
Okay. So when it comes to handling stress and anxiety, I know you mentioned academics earlier, but what strategies have you found to be like helpful when like trying to deal with any like stress and anxiety when it comes to academics?
I would definitely say just hang out with friends and just yeah, just seeking support from friends and like there's counselors, like I said before.
Yeah.
I mean, time management, I guess. Don't do your homework last minute, last like the night before it's due,
Yeah, having
and
time
just
management, yeah. Sorry, what are you saying?
I guess exercise as well.
Mhm. Keeping that, I guess we're going back to that point of just like you need to have a healthy balance in your life of what you do and try to not
Mm-hmm.
over stress or like worry too much about one thing or another and just try to keep it balanced so that you don't gain too much anxiety. So that makes sense on
Mm-hmm.
that. So I know you had said that you have gone through, I heard you mention it earlier, but you've gone through a little bit of anxiety so far in college with some of your math classes. And I know we talked about like a mental effect that it's had. Could you talk about more about like that mental effect and if it's led to any emotional like changes or mood swings?
Well, there's like, there's mixed emotions for me. On one hand, there's that like excitement, but then on the other hand, there's that like family pressure to performing well academically,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much, yeah,
Okay.
it's.
Um, so I know we've talked a lot now about like the academic side of college and everything, but
Mhm.
do you feel like there are any social aspects that are pressuring in college? Any like social things in college, like maybe hanging out with friends or anything like that, that can sometimes be like a cause for anxiety? Any like social anxiety causes that you've experienced in college?
I don't think there's much social anxiety. Like building friendships is like great, and watching you like promotes that. Like freshman year when you got in, there's like everybody. There's people cheer like welcoming you in. Like I guess social life is like a big part of WashU.
Mm-hmm. So you'd say in this case that like the social aspects of college are more supportive than stressful. So I'd say that's good.
Hmm.
Okay. So last question, Kev, is from your perspective, what aspects of college do you think could contribute to like why students are feeling anxiety? Like what factor do you think is the main cause for college like anxiety?
I think pretty much how I would say it's kind of like the same for me with that like family pressure, or also like that academic pressure of just doing good at college.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that's college is like the kind of the real world now. Like you're paying to go to college, so you
Yeah.
kind of gotta
No,
do good.
knowing sort of the risk that comes into college of you're putting a lot of time and money in can definitely be a anxious thing, especially when it comes to like knowing that academics affect like that time and money spent, I guess is what you mean.
Oh yeah, definitely. Uh, like financial, in terms of financial, my parents help pay for college, but don't I don't want to have this financial burdens on them.
Mm-hmm.
So just since they pay for it, like I don't want to waste this money that they help me get into.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So those are all the questions that I got for you, but I want to follow up on a couple things if you don't mind.
Okay.
I know we talked a bit about the emotional side of like college and how there can be like emotional factors that are caused from anxiety. Do you think those emotional factors come from like like bad mental health, and what mental effects have you experienced in college, or if you've experienced any at all?
Definitely like this kind of like there's one is which is burning out. Like I kind of just I don't know. At some point, I just couldn't focus and felt burned out.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I talked to my counselor, came out with a plan, and then just I guess hang out with friends, let them know they help with this situation, and just have some personal time. And it just yeah, it's been better ever since then.
That's good. That's good. All right. Now that we've just followed up with that, I think that's about everything that I need to talk about. Thank you for providing me with this interview, and thank you for being good on like responding and everything. And yeah, thank you for joining me in this interview.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yep.